Well, guys, welcome back. Guys, gals, and llamas. Don't want to leave anybody out. Assorted basketballs and non-corporeal beings, whatever you want to be. It's your life. I don't judge. So, we're looking at something else from OKNIFE. Olight. And this has a little backstory to it. This was not a sample. I get a lot of stuff from Olight to show you guys, but I had to pick up from the sale through Dave. So Dave's like a super uranium, titanium, platinum, unobtainium member or whatever. So I asked him to grab me one of these in the sale, and I traded him something for it. So this is the Nightclaw. This is actually Olight, whatever's latest knife. Now, we saw the Splint, we saw the Drever, they have this. Now, this has a cool story. I have mentioned a few times there's something I couldn't talk about because they didn't want me to. I have known about this for months, since it looked like this. They sent me a pre-production. This was I guess I could talk about it now. I want to say somewhere between 6 months and a year ago, I don't know. They sent me, and some other people, I'm not special, I'm a little special. I'm not this special, I'm this special. They sent me this guy to check out and evaluate, and they said, like, hey, give us your thoughts. And I sent them back, like, a 6-minute, comments and criticisms unlisted video, where I basically said, here's everything that I like about it, and everything I would change about it. And, one of the things that I think makes everybody feel good is, like, when you make suggestions or comments and you feel like they've been listened to. And I feel like a lot's been listened to, honestly. But again, they sent these to a lot of influential people. So I'm not saying, like, this is all me. This was just a very interesting kind of little design. This is not the first round little coin-shaped knife that's ever hit the market, but this was something. Now, there's been some changes between this initial pre-production. This is titanium. I forgot what if the blade was still made of D2 at this point. But we're going to look at this. We're going to look at how it's changed. So the Nightclaw is an almost unopenable box. Concealed carry. Concealed carry with style. So inside the box, you've got this, right? Now you've got this. I didn't look at this, and I didn't even open this because I was like, what could be in there? A battery charge or whatever? I found out that all these knives come with a little lanyard. So you could, neck knife it. I've gotten as far as looking at this so far, and that's it. Would you open, please? I have not looked at this yet. All right, I'm just going to rip it. Now, this knife comes in a black and tan, and for the love of God. Okay, black and tan and a black and blue. This is all G10. This is basically this whole frame and everything, including this little guy right here. This is all G10, which is a drastically different design when they were doing all titanium here. And we'll talk about that as we look at the knife. Now, it does have a pretty cool bead here. I don't know if this is titanium or aluminum or what. But so you've got, when we talk about a lanyard, look, it's 550 cord, right? And you've got, so you can put the, so listen, you've got an O bead. That's actually pretty nice looking bead if you want to, knife it, whatever. And you can tie this on, whatever. Different ways to put it on. So I'm not going to put this on right now. But, it comes with it. So you can use it. So the basic design of the knife, and it's got not quite a 1-inch blade. It's like a 0.93-inch blade. They say this little jeweled button here, you can hold it down and flick it. You can. Oh, sweet. You cannot do that on the prototype. You can't. There's a lot of improvements on this over the prototype. But it's got a little hawkbill blade. D2 steel, as we said. I'm sorry if the camera work's not great. I'm doing this while standing up because my chair has been appropriated for video game play by a boy. So you can see that the blue G10 is laid directly onto the black G10. and it is textured to give you some grip. And that's one of the first things I said about this thing is it's a cool design and all, but there's nothing, you know, if this gets wet or whatever, there's no grippiness to it. Mine seemed, I knew there was supposed to be a screw there. My sample came without a screw, so I just found one that kind of fit. So you can kind of flick it in and out. It's also, you see it's got a nail nick there. It is pretty light. It is I'm going to have all the specs, guys, but it's like 1.4 ounces or so. They've done some lightning work and some changes internally. You can see there's like a whole metal stop pin in there that's not here. You can see some changes to the design of the blade itself a little bit. So now basically your button lock there is your stop pin and everything, which is cool. On the older one, the older design, I mean, it is nearly identical. I cannot remember what the blade is made of there, but it doesn't have that smoothness. The overall shape is there. It's just a little bit, you know, different. You don't have this cool motion capability there, which I think if you're going to neck knife it, just gives a little more flow. You could also carry this in because it's, I mean, the weight difference, you know what, I'll get you an actual weight on the prototype. This is 1.7 ounces as opposed to the 1.4 or so. The difference that you feel is, I mean, it's a dramatic feeling of difference. It really is. If I was going to use one as a neck knife or on a dangly, I'd much rather have this guy right here. So ergonomics wise, you know, it doesn't feel too awkward. You know, my biggest problem is to hold this in any way that I feel comfortable cutting, my thumb's got to go right there to that button. And, that was what I was trying to demonstrate. Any kind of movement of the wrist unlocks that knife. There's just, you know, for me, my hands, there's no real good, comfortable way for me to hold this with my thumb on the face side without accidentally hitting that button. And, you know, that was kind of one of my complaints on the original one. I honestly, there's just not. Now, I have stupidly big hands. I'm a hand freak, you know? There's no reason any human being needs hands my size, especially my body size with these hands. It's just, I don't, you know, if I could get a hand transplant, I would. Maybe somebody with smaller hands could more comfortably hold this in a better way. But for me, when the way my hands naturally fall on the knife, I'm going to hit that button. That's just where my thumb's going to go. Now, in the design of the knife, where else are they going to put the button? You know, I mean, just where else are they going to go put it? I get it. But that's an issue with me. That's why, me personally, and I got to say this, you know, there's no insult to, you know, I have spoken personally with the designer of OKNIFE's series and everything, and he's a great designer. He designs for some big brands. Nothing personal to him or anything. I would not carry this. This is just, you know, I have to be honest with you guys. I got to be honest in all my reviews. I would not carry this knife. It just doesn't suit my ergonomics and my personal comfort. I like the other designs that they've put out. This one, for all of its conveniences that it offers, it doesn't do it. The hand placement doesn't work for me. It doesn't. Now, again, some other folks might enjoy it. I know, I mean, plus there's a bunch of neck knife folks that might really like it. You can also put it on a keychain, you know, you can put it, you know, just in a pocket or whatever. But for me, my hand goes to that button, and any movement of the wrist at that point messes with the lockup of the blade, just by the way it is. The blade lockup itself, though, on its own, without touching the button, is pretty solid. You know, with that button lock system that they have going on there. You have a very good engagement of the lock, and with this flow-through design, very easy to clean out, very easy to keep it operational and, you know, nice and easy. Because it's G10 and not the original titanium, if you did want to personalize this or add some grippiness with a little grind on there, you could. Be very easy to do. And it's, you know, there's some customization options open to you as an owner if you wanted to. What is the usability of this now? Following through with this little tiny blade. This is a convenience knife. This is something that you would carry around, opening boxes, doing quick tasks, you know, in a workshop, at work. Is this an EDC knife? It could be. It could be. It certainly comes finished very nicely. But there's, you know, I couldn't say, you know, one of the things I use my regular blade every day at work for is, you know, we get these sandwiches, whether you want to call them. Here in Pennsylvania, they're hoagies. Back home in New York, they're heroes. Over where some of my relatives live in Connecticut, they're grinder, whatever. I got to cut it in half every day. This couldn't do that for me. This just could not do that for me. I could use this to cut. This would be very, very nice with this fine tip for cutting masking out, for doing custom projects, sure. Cutting boxes, absolutely. Cutting 550. Oh, you know what? Let's do the cutting 550 cord test. I'm not sure, honestly, how it's gonna stack up for that, just because of the shape of the blade and the little bit of leverage that it has. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see how this is gonna do. So, So we'll do a slice first. Not bad, actually. Not bad. I wasn't too comfortable. I wasn't happy with my hold on it, but I did get a secure hold. The thing I'm thinking is, though, like this, if it's wet, if it's slippery, and my thumb's pushing down on this, oops, trouble. I mean, that's just, you know. And now let's do a pull through. Again, I'm not comfortable with the grip I got on this thing, but it's the grip I got on this thing. Actually, wow, that was a lot better than I thought for the pull through. I really was anticipating trouble with the pull through on this. Now, what we can't do, because of the shape of the blade, is a nice slice. Can we? No. I mean, it's just not set up for that. It's just, and that's one of the problems with, you know, blades this shape. You can't get a firm cut. Now, again, but like we could do a complicated shape cut, because we want to, you know, it's got a very fine point, and if we were cutting out complex shapes to do, like I said, masking or, you know, whatever, we could do that. I don't know how many people have called for that in their daily lives. Action is, though, it's very good. It's very smooth. You know, it's not a lot of weight, so you gotta get that timing and flick just right, but it is very smooth. It's on bearings, actually. Bearings in this little tiny thing, whereas this prototype was just on washers, and they are like silver metal washers. I have no idea. I mean, it's not a finished design. It's just, again, prototype design. So it's a very, it is an interest. That's you know, that's what I got to say. It's an interesting design. I am sure that there are people that will find a good use for this. I love this bead. I might use this bead on something. That's a really shiny, nice bead. With the Olight color scheme and everything. And it says, sorry guys, it says OKNIFE. I mean, that has a really nice look. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I'm really not sure. I like the colors on it, though. I like the blue and the black color scheme. I am really curious to see what your comments are going to be on this little guy right here. I'm really curious. So yeah, that's model number. Please, let's be realistic. Let's talk about this little guy, because I'm telling you, I have really loved the Drever and the Splint. I think they make great EDC knives. I cannot picture myself carrying this one, though, just because anything it would do, I honestly think I've got other products that do it better. But there's got to be people that this design really appeals to. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from people who like it. I want to hear from people that don't like it. I want to hear from people that have it and have used it. I want to hear from people that are on the fence and are thinking about it. And what are your thoughts? I want to hear from everybody. What do you guys think of this little guy? Yeah, so let's go. Discuss. What do you think? Big shout out to Dave for making sure I got one of these in my hand so that I can mess with it. And I will carry it around for a little bit just to check it out and play with it and everything. I think I will just keep this as a heritage piece. This could end up being given away if there's enough interest in it. I'm not sure. We'll see. But please do tell me, guys. Tell me what you think of this and what your thoughts are. I'm dying to know. I'm dying. So remember, you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back again real soon.